Hi guys, Mollusk here, and I just played a Guild Ball tournament recently, and I thought I'd give a quick synopsis, quick overview. Not really a battle report like I used to do, but yeah, just go over my thoughts about the event, about getting back onto the tabletop, and just enjoy the fact I'm playing again. So yeah, this is Bend It Like Brisket tournament hosted by Francois Langton, I think currently the rank 1 UK Guild Ball player, and an old gaming buddy of mine from the London Darksphere days. And yes, unfortunately I didn't get to play Malifaux, but Guild Ball is a truly great game, and this tournament did a great job of reminding me just why. So I haven't played this game, or in fact any war game, in the past 4 or 5 years, and I think I just want to use that to highlight that if you are into wargaming but are maybe a bit intimidated about joining the tournament scene, really don't be. It is a really good opportunity to meet other players in your local area, get a load of games in one sitting, which is fantastic for learning and getting better at the game. And in all the tournaments I've ever been to, which isn't that many, I'll be honest, but all of them, including this one, had a great atmosphere, and it's basically no different from a pickup game with people you casually know down at the local store. Particularly when it comes to Guild Ball, everybody is relearning the game and getting back in after having not played for a fair stretch of time. So if you love wargaming and there's a tournament going near you, I highly recommend giving it a crack. And I imagine looking on Longshanks is a fairly good way to find these tournaments if you aren't hooked into local gaming group Discords, WhatsApps or Facebooks that might otherwise tell you if something's going on. So my first match was against a very nice and patient Morticians player. That's my card hand for the game. I didn't really know what was good, so I chose a mixture of cards with high initiative numbers and what would seem to be useful effects. The Morticians elected to kick, and they have Dirge, Graves, Scalpel, who's kicking, Ghast, Skulk, and Bonesaw. And I have taken Matagi, Snow, Cena, Veteran Minx, Scather, and Edge. So my plan going into this game was to get the ball over to Scather and Edge, and basically use Scather to pass the ball, like pass snowballs and pass the ball to Edge to get her up the field, place her fast ground so that Edge could then start her activation by teleporting to that and making a nice easy goal run. And then on the other flank, use Veteran Minx and Cena to try to smash Scalpel, which she's quite exposed. It didn't work out like that, mostly because Veteran Minx couldn't get her playbook thing, I think it's marked for death. I whiffed, so the bear then couldn't get into range to charge, so Scather had to use her fast round to get the bear in there, and I did like a passing sort of like 1-2, 1-2 between Edge and Scather, and that felt pretty cool. I like passing the ball and making it feel like a football game, but it wasn't very influence or momentum efficient, and the bear, without any setup, didn't manage to get her what's his face Scalpel snared. I didn't get the mark for death set up, so the bear didn't really do much to Scalpel. Things didn't quite go to plan there. So I didn't really memorize the moves of the game like I used to. I'm just trying to get back into things, and wasn't intending to make a proper report how I used to. But essentially, Scalpel murdered Veteran Minx and the bear, and pretty much anyone that came close to her. Scather did manage to score a goal, and yeah, I think I tried to... I just couldn't get the ball back to try to score again. You can see I worked Matagi up the pitch. Very nearly got the ball back. Oh, and the end of the game was frustratingly close. I mean, the game wasn't close, but I think I managed to get the ball off of Graves. Or the ball was on Graves or something, and I remember Scather being hypermobile, and so I legendaried and tried to dance around the models, but it was just less than an inch out of range to be able to dodge into to combat with either Skulk or Graves to be able to get the ball and dodge out again. What I had forgotten at this point was that Scather has a very useful ability called Blessing of the Moon Goddess, which would have given her a double dodge, and quite happily had all the movement I needed to get into range to get the ball, and then I'm not sure if she'd have been in range to score, but at least do what I intended to do with that activation. It wasn't to be. In the end, the ball ended up sort of like kicked out in free space in front of the Mortician's goal, and Minx just couldn't get away from Ghast because of his fear to go get it. Edge could almost get to the ball, but just couldn't quite get there, and I clocked out. So my opponent won quite handily, quite comfortably. It wasn't a very close game, but really fun game, really good to get playing with Scatha again. I feel the bear did not... I didn't use the bear properly. I went in without setup, it didn't really do much and died, and I really feel that, and from talking with people after, during the break, bear has to be a counter punch. It can't go in without setup, it's got to kind of sit back, not go in too early, otherwise it just gets pounded for momentum for the enemy team. So I think hang back, set up, just maybe even feel that the first turn you're just not gonna go in, you're not gonna use the bear on the first turn, and it's for once sort of like lines have been drawn, the engagements have happened, and then in goes the bear to do its work. I think that's probably the way to try to think about playing it in future. So we went on to the next game. That is my hand. Again, same principles, just trying to choose a mixture of good initiative and useful seeming abilities. This time I was against Engineers, and my opponent won the roll-off and decided to let me kick, which I was very happy with. Scatha very much wants to be the kicker, as is my understanding. So I chose... I'll go through my opponent. I think that's Locus, Hoist, Velocity, Spade, Pinvice, and whatever the little roach thing is called. I can't remember. Again, I don't know these models very well, but that looks like quite a football-y team to me. I think Pinvice is a football-y captain. So I went with Edge because I quite liked it from the first game. Scatha, Snow, J-Car instead of the bear, and the idea behind this was that he's got anatomical precision. I'm expecting Engineers to have lots of armor. He's much faster than the bear. All his dodging, he's pretty killy. His dodging means he can get to where he needs to go to, and also makes him a ball threat. His kick's not great, but it's sort of like he's better at footballing than the bear for sure. So yeah, then I've got Feminx and Mitagi again. Without a lot of damage threats on the enemy team, I'm feeling quite happy. Again, I don't really know what they can do, but I'm pretty sure damage is not their sort of forte. So I'm more comfortable taking a team that has only one 2-inch range piece, which is Veteran Minx, and is sort of kind of more geared towards football. So I kick with Scatha, get her up the board, ready to sort of threaten the goal on the first turn, and that was sort of the plan, is use Snow to give Scatha the anatomical precision to be able to comfortably get the ball off anyone and score that first goal. So first things first, I forget who retrieved the ball. I think it might have been Hoist, and then the Engineers did this amazing passing chain down their line, putting the ball on Mainspring. Mainspring's its name. For one influence, they did 3 or 4 passes. It was amazing. So I have to remember that they can do stuff like that in future. So yeah, really, really influence and momentum efficient is Pinvice on receiving. So the ball being on Mainspring, I think I anatomical precisioned Scatha, went in, scored the goal. Ball came out centre pitch. Spade then did their amazing dig holes and place themselves nearby. Incredible ability. Quite handily and comfortably scored a goal for the Engineers, and then I passed out the ball to around these boxes on the right flank, ready to go with my other goal run. So in the next turn I was quite happy, almost happy with what happened. So J-Car went and just beat the snot out of Spade, or tried to, because I whiffed about 3 of his attacks, literally got nothing. The dice did not go my way there, but did some damage to Spade, got the momentum I needed for the goal run, And then I tried to like position to like keep Spade engaged in combat, and then the little devil, I gut and stringed him. I gut and stringed her, and that was essential, I think, because the little devil just dug a hole out from J-Car's range, walked over to collect the ball, but then couldn't quite get into range to score the goal, which was pretty crucial. I used veteran Minx to tackle, or at least proc the close control. Quite lucky. It wasn't the easiest tackle to make. And then I went with Matagi, who wasn't engaged with Spade, used his ranged attack to tackle the ball properly this time. Again, not the easiest roll to make. And then he just sprinted and smacked the ball in from 8 inches away, which I was really pleased with. And the fact that the engineers don't have a very threatening, like don't have kill potential, they're not very threatening, means that Scatha is perfectly happy sort of sitting here using her cold snap to just, she just two cold snaps does 12 damage in like to these 3 models and snared and stuff, so it's pretty good. And Matagi can sit here and we're not really worried about giving back points. Yeah, so pretty happy with that. The ball then got passed out to the Locus. Again, it was like just less than an inch sort of finagling where I couldn't quite get to range to where I needed to be. In the end, I managed to get the ball with edge. This is top of turn 3. Walk over to mainspring, hit it for the dodge and the momentum that I needed to then just go and score the goal to finish the game 12-4. So I really liked J-Car in this. Like, he did decent damage, even though he whiffed hard, but his gut and string is just so good in combination with snared. Really liked Edge again. She's fast. She gets the ball. She gets where she needs to be and can put the ball away. The Targi's ranged ball steal was clutch. The range knockdown from Locus was scary, and I think someone on the engineers team can do like long range, like pretty significant distance pushes that Hoist can copy, and he can also copy the range knockdown and stuff. So like pretty threatening to go near the edges of the board against this team. Be what I take away. But thank you to my opponent. It was a really fun game, and it felt really nice to have a football-y game. So then game 3 was Hunters versus Hunters, and I forgot to take a picture of my hand, but it doesn't really matter. I'm playing Scatha, my opponent's playing Theron, and my opponent took it easy on me. He deliberately tried to pick models to make it so that there was no sort of mirrored models between our factions, which I definitely think gave him the weaker team. Kudos to him for for that. So I've got my same team from last game because I really liked it. The Edge, Snow, Scatha, Veteran Minx, J-Car and Matagi. He has taken Ulfa, Theron, Veteran Hearn, Cena, Fahad, and Egret. And he won the dice roll and gave me the kick, which again, great, I want that. So I kicked with Scatha. Again, I want to go on the goal run with Scatha. I didn't put her so far forward. I'm aware of my lesson I learned in the first game, where if the bear can't get to range, then it's a bit of pain for them. So I wanted to make it difficult for Theron to hit and pin and snare her, and the bear to come in and wreck me. So I tried to stay back a bit. I do think Theron could have probably got to range. I don't know his ranges, but I assume he could like sprint and pin me, and that would have been pretty devastating. But luckily he didn't do that. I think he went to collect the ball with Egret, pass down the line to try to get the ball on Ulfa, I think was the idea. So what happened? Oh my goodness, this was such a fun but messy game. So I think essentially I got the ball with Scatha in the first turn and scored, and then ended up like surrounded by the whole enemy hunter team with Scatha on 1 health. And then in turn 2, I think my opponent allowed me to go first, which meant that I then stuck a load of influence on Scatha, escaped the death pit with my dodges, ran round to steal the ball off of Ulfa and score my second goal. I think Ulfa killed Scatha, I think the bear killed J-Car. I think J-Car had done quite a lot of damage to Egret, I think she was on like 4 health or something towards the end, so she was like hiding, lurking back towards the goal. So yeah, so my opponent decides, I'm 1 goal away from winning. My opponent decided to hide the ball, so Ulfa ran to the other side of the pitch, the right flank, behind his sort of bare wall. Matagi tackled him from range, booted the ball back to my backfield. So I had J-Car coming on, and just like a perfect, beautiful line of J-Car could easily get the ball, pass it to Scather. Scather could then like run up and easily pass it to Edge, who could then get the goal. And there really wouldn't be much the enemy could do about it. There was Hearn in the middle of the pitch. Was sort of like the only obstacle. He's so slow that we probably had a good shot at getting the ball in, or at least and even if he got the ball off of us, there would have been a good chance, I think, that we could have recovered it. So not a done deal. Hearn could have teleported like with his attack and knocked us down or tackled it and booted it away. But I was fairly confident the win was quite comfortably in my hands. But instead, I made a massive error and was like, okay, J-Car can get that ball wherever he wants it. I'm just going to move Snow to that forest and just, I don't know, try to bait out an activation, like reduce the number of activations that could interrupt this goal run. So I'm just going to go with Snow. He's got no influence, and I'm just going to sit in this forest. Like maybe Hearn just decides to run away from Veteran Minx, who was engaging him, and like go for the ball. And I don't know if I'd got confused between Hearn and Veteran Hearn or whatever it was, but this was absolutely devastating because Hearn attacked Minx, teleported to the other side of her in range of Snow. Attacked Snow, teleported to the other side of him, and then just walked away and grabbed the ball and kicked the ball back over the other side of the pitch where Matagi had just recently rescued it from, and Fahad got it, which is just a pain. So super dumb move by me there. Veteran Minx, J-Car beat the snot out of Veteran Hearn to punish him for this cruel act. The bear eats Matagi, and so now I've got the ball. The bear is between me and the ball. The ball is on the 5+ to hit cat, and I've got to somehow got to go get it. Because I'm on 2 goals and a kill, so I'm on 10 points. So I just need a kill. Egret is hiding from me. She is probably the only sort of other model that's damaged. So killing Egret could win me the game, or getting the ball. And I just can't. I just don't have the damage without J-Car being in position to kill her. I don't think. Maybe I could have killed her with Scather. Maybe. But anyway, the ball was my goal, and so I ended up going with Scather. I got the initiative. I went to Scather. Tried to go over to Fahad and couldn't, so I just sort of ended up hitting the bear. I placed her fast ground so that on Edge's base, so that she could teleport out of range of Hearn, who had come back in to like tie her up, which I should have seen, hadn't seen it. I forget what he went with, but it wasn't Hearn, which was good, because he could have pushed her or knocked her down, and that would have scuppered Edge's kind of ball run. And so I went with Edge. I teleported across the fast ground out of melee range, and then I tried to ensnare Fahad so that it would make my tackle easier to hit. I whiffed. I went in anyway. I tackled him, or her, or whatever it is, and basically ended up just not having enough influence left to get into range to shoot the goal. So I had to dodge because Fahad wasn't snared. I couldn't get the range to take the shot, so I had to dodge into Ulfa, and then hitting Ulfa meant that I didn't have the influence to take the shot, basically. So Edge was tough-hided, so Edge didn't die, but they got the ball back and basically killed Scather. I can't remember if they killed J-Car. J-Car went in again to just try to get to the ball and couldn't, and I clocked out, and just couldn't get the ball back and score before my opponent reached 12 points. So a 12-10 victory to Theron's Hunters. Oh, it should have been mine. It should have been mine. Yeah, so lesson from this game is if you don't have to move, don't move. In Guild Ball, a model is pretty dead if it doesn't have another model it can reach. Like, models are stepping stones. And all I had to do was keep Veteran Hearn high and dry so that he just couldn't move to someone to get the ball. And yeah, sometimes the best move is just to not move the model. Just activate and end. Yeah, but really fun game. Really, super close. Lack of familiarity with the models just eats my clock. Like, I have to keep looking up what their rules were. I probably was chatting without paying attention to my clock a bit. By the end of this game, I was starting to use Blessing of the Moon Goddess on Scatha, Blessing of the Sun Goddess on Veteran Minx. I needed to make more use of the Harriers. I think that's basically like a 3 momentous damage on 2 for J-Car and Veteran Minx, and I don't know, maybe someone else, which is pretty good. So I need to be making more use of that. Yeah, so really good fun. I didn't get the wooden spoon, and crazily, I was very much expecting it. Really fun tournament, had a really great time, and it's good to be back on the table again. Guild Ball is just the best tournament game to play. It's so quick, it's pretty simple in terms of the numbers of models, which models you're taking. The game is just so streamlined, and I believe the intention is to run these tournaments every 3 months or so, which I'll definitely try to attend, because they're just such a good way of getting reps in against different people, and I'd highly encourage anyone watching this to do the same. Big thanks to my opponents, all of them gentlemen, very friendly and patient with me, and a big thanks to Francois for hosting the tournament. It was a smashing day. So until the next one, take care.